by Nick Holland as well as Shane Crawford, will go a long way in making this a tight tussle tonight.
That leadership was very evident, wasn't it? Crawford and Holland against the Bulldogs. They were down, not quite out in the third quarter, but they were able to come back strong.
Well, I think Nick Holland took a major step last week. He turned on him.
But I think it'll actually favour Hawthorn. I think the rain is coming, it's going, but we'll get to the game and see how they handle the condition.
Thank you for that. Peter McKenna is in the stands tonight, so we'll be talking to him as well. Chick gets the first kick. Hawks kicking into the breeze tonight. And Dixon's got a free kick, about 80 metres from goal.
Rain belting down also. What do you think, Platts? Is it an advantage for the Hawks?
Oh, it could be, Jared. It's going to be very interesting because Port do start well in these last 3 weeks as well.
Dixon punches it into the breeze, gets it almost towards the goal square. Mead tried to belt it away, half it over the top of it. Dickey with that new haircut, and they're quickly onto him, and it'll be a ball up about 40 metres out from Hawthorn's goal. Have a look at Donald Dickey. You'd want to play a big game looking like that, wouldn't you?
It's not going to be hard to find in the ground.
So Salmon playing for the Hawks, so Farrell misses out along with Rock, Danilchenko and Barker. They're the 4 that missed out from their squad tonight. Free kick picked out and going to the Hawks.
And importantly, Nick Holland has started deep in the forward line as full forward.
Short kick by Treleaven, cut off by Wilson. Holland kicked 5 goals against Port Adelaide the last time they played. He played on Paxman, but tonight Mead, who's got a good record on him, goes back to full back on him. Wilson, Norwich rising star, a couple of seasons ago. Had a slow start to this year with a groin problem. Kingsley, the best and fairest of the club last year, has got it at half-back and goes short. And this has been Port style. They haven't wasted it. Daniels.
Stephen Daniels at left half-back for Port Adelaide. Important that maybe the Hawks could put a score on the board into the breeze. You saw the kick that came in from Dixon. It held up dramatically. So a certain breeze advantage with Port Adelaide in this first quarter.
And Port Adelaide going very short up in full forward, in their full forward line. They've got Burgoyne, Eagleton and Shea Cockatoo Collins. So they expect the ball to come in low and come in quickly.
Well, the kick into the middle has been missed there by Daniels, gathered by Wanganeen. He quickly throws it onto his boot, kicks it forward. Salmon dispossessed by Cockatoo Collins. All Essendon players at one stage. Wanganeen, Salmon and Cockatoo Collins. Hawks across half-back. Try to clear the ball into the middle. Great effort by Wanganeen. It's very hard to judge the football in the breeze and control the slippery football. Bit of a dust-up there between Nick Holland and his immediate opponent. Wanganeen ignores all that and gets the ball wide to Francis.
Crawford looks like he's got the job on Eagleton too. Crawford playing basically in the full-back zone. Wanganeen again. Third possession. He runs the full distance and then hammers the goal. And getting back there and belting it through at the end, I think was Crawford for a behind.
Good make there by Gavin. Just a bit of a juggle there. Kept his eyes on the ball. A good captain's mark.
Bruce Abernethy, the interchange for Port.
Yes, Bruce, Barnaby French, Darryl Paul's back for his first game. Brendan, you imagine these conditions are perfect for.
That is interesting. Wilson interchange.
Bruce, we got Chris Hobbs, Barlow, Adrian Cox, Thompson, Brad Lloyd and Colliger.
So all their youngsters really on the interchange here for the Hawks.
Port Adelaide have readjusted their defence. They've got Paxman going down to full back to pick up Holland, and Robbins at centre half forward, and Mead's going with him. So Mead back in the position that he's made his own at Port Adelaide.
Off the side of Treleaven's boot in these very difficult conditions, out of bounds on the full. So it's a Fabian Francis kick in.
Well, Francis playing across half-back by the look of it. Gee, Wanganeen's been prominent early. He's going to be forced to bounce, and good shepherd provided by one of his teammates there. The kick in towards left half forward. Cockatoo Collins, the race is on here, and the ball just trundling awkwardly for eventually Nick Stevens to take it over in front of Tony Woods for a boundary throw in just forward of centre wing favouring Port Adelaide.
And good pace shown there by Luke McCabe. He's a very talented player, plays in midfield, but he has been playing as a defender in the back pocket in this Ansett Cup, and he's on Cockatoo Collins.
Salmon prepared to bash it forward and over for another throw in. Port Adelaide have scored just a behind. Hawthorn have had the ball up across their half forward line on a couple of occasions, yet to score very early in the 1999 Ansett Cup Grand Final. struggle for possession. Woods was good in underneath there. Chalmers over the top, but the umpire decides that he will ball it up. Right near the players' interchange area, Tony Woods in screen. Chalmers tries to get rid of Salmon. Ball comes to ground. Franco overruns it. Treleaven, Salmon, little tap on. Not too bad in the finish. Robrin got his hands to it, a little bit suspect. The moving on of that football. Polton for Port Adelaide. Clears, and clears rather ordinarily over on the full. Free kick to the Hawks.
That's where they're going to be really careful at this stage of the game. They can use a short pass, but if they don't get it away from the short pass, Hawthorn are going to turn over and get it down to the forward line.
Vandenberg, Wanganeen, who's started brilliantly. Stevens, good give. It was clever to Kingsley. Kingsley at centre wing. Keeps it down low. It's going to be very hard to take high marks this evening. Graham is playing at centre half back, gets it from Salmon. Kicks the ball back to centre wing. Belted away by Daniels. Not very far. Taken by Leckis. Leckis gets it inside 50. Bouncing ball. Well done by Mead. Controlled it. The handball under pressure. Wilson goes to ground under pressure. Little toe poke away from Holland. Polton gets in there. Holland gets a second go at it. Spins, weaves and ridden into the ground and taken over the line. Good defensive play by Paxman. A boundary throw in about 30 metres from Hawthorn's goal.
The Hawks really trying to close the game up. They're not the only ones tackling here. We see a pretty good one from Port Adelaide, but already Port Adelaide's want to use the short pass and high possession game is costing them at the moment.
Gee, a little kick there by Daniel Chick to the advantage of the Hawks, but taken away in the finish by Franco. He kicks it out wide. This is Graham mopping it up. Little left foot kick into the pocket. Too far for Leckis. And number 10 for Port Adelaide, Josh Franco.
And Robbo, it's interesting to watch this Hawthorn forward line when Holland comes deep into full forward. Obviously, Mark Williams thinks that Paxman is a better player at fullback and Mead a much better player at centre-back, because he does leave Mead at centre-back, where he's taken them all on over the past 12 months and beaten them all.
Peter McKenna there, who's working the grandstands again tonight.
Graham slung off the footy. The ball spills Franco. Dickey for Port Adelaide across his left shoulder, not bad. But the only player back there was Salmon. Experienced campaigner, many games now, many finals. And he's marked safely. Gets it forward. Graham. Another possession to Graham. Left foot kick in towards the half-forward area. Robrin struggling for Hawthorn. Chance for Dixon. Nearly taken by Daniels. It was a little high, but Dixon doesn't mess around, moves it on quickly, comes back to the Hawks. They kick it forward. Holland, he's got it right in front of goal. And this is what I was talking about. An important early score for Hawthorn will give them tremendous confidence. On the other hand, Port Adelaide going with the breeze at this stage have just managed to behind.
But I think you can take this goal, what should be a goal, way back to the pressure that was placed on Port Adelaide to make them kick the ball long and blindly. Paul Salmon sitting kick behind the play, mops up and turns the ball in his favour.
Just has to convert. Not many chances at that end of the ground, you wouldn't think. A goal to Holland.
You see them with Nick Holland. I think this is where we all started from as well. Great mark, and Nick will be very important to this side tonight. If he can kick his 3 or 4 goals tonight, the Hawkers have got a great chance.
Strong mark by one of their stars. So Holland gets the opening goal in what should be a low-scoring contest. Vandenberg to half-forward. Dixon and Polton. Polton quickly away to centre wing. Well done by Feagert. Quick handball. Put Kingsley under pressure. Was it a throw? Back to Feagert. Feagert's got some space. Goes towards centre half forward. Wants Eagleton. Bounces off Salmon. Dickey couldn't control it. It was a hard footy. Crawford, who has got the job on Eagleton. To Graham, whose birthday today. He's 26 years of age. Back to Hassel. Lateral handball. Tony Woods. A little bit blonder tonight. To Graham again. Graham getting plenty of it from centre half back. Kicks the ball to about 70 metres. Very good take by Franco. To Polton. Controlled it. Got it round the body. And found Kingsley at half back. Again on short. Wants Treadray. Bouncing ball. Hard to control. Out of play. Centre wing.
Yeah, Bruce, the chipping game for both sides won't work tonight with his balls getting heavier, and obviously with the conditions down here, they need to get one quick handball and one long kick.
What's the breeze worth, do you think?
I think it's about 2 or 3 goals going towards Port's favour.
Well, Gavin Wanganeen didn't hesitate when he won the toss. He very quickly indicated that he would go to the main scoreboard end in the first term. We have another look at this free kick. Johnny Hassel just illegally out of that action against Franco. So Hassel to take the free kick for Hawthorn right on centre wing. Gets reasonable distance into the breeze. The ball at half forward. Chance for Dixon. He's in underneath there. His opposition is Darren Mead. And the umpire's indicating now that it's Mead that didn't move it on. So Dixon to take the free kick. Quickly onto the left foot, in towards half forward. Getting back and taking a good mark as Daniels. Aaron Lord a little late on the scene. Stephen Daniels, promising player for Port Adelaide, just a youngster. He's got the ball between full-back and centre-half-back. We do see Mead get in front of Dixon here, and this was the incident where the umpire decided that Mead didn't move it on. The free kick was given to Ben Dixon. Franco with the football, little left foot kick, not really to the advantage there. Crowd quickly onto his boot to half forward, high flyer at the back. Chance here now again for Hawthorn. It's Dixon back onto his right. He's doing a good job, moving and providing a target. Chick overruns the football. Wanganeen and Dickey in there, and the ball will be thrown in the air just inside the forward 50 for Hawthorn.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Port Adelaide are one-dimensional, because right now you would think that the way they have been winning games isn't going to be successful tonight. Chipping the ball around, expecting a high skill game to get you through the goals.
Holland gets over Mead. Dickey under pressure. Holland off the ground. Ball ricochets off. A couple of players are kicking in danger. Free kick to Port Adelaide. To Darren Mead. Elevated to a vice-captaincy this year. He was an assistant last year.
It's one of the things tonight is just it's going to be really slippery there tonight. So main thing, keep the ball going forward.
Short to Daniels.
I think Ken Judge so far be very pleased, John, the way that his teammates, that his charges are actually matching up. And you can just see there on the wider screen that the Hawks are so conscientious in manning up when Port Adelaide have got the ball in defence.
Ken's very good on accountability, and tonight will be right on it tonight.
Graham got it from Hassel. Half a good stretch in the front spot. Went early against Francis and held on. Quickly gives it off. High ball by Leckis to fall forward. Front spot Mead and also Daniels. Now a chance for Robin. Mead's got to get rid of it. He's in trouble. Oh, he was lucky.
Port Adelaide been renowned for their good starts in the Ansett Cup so far this year. There just seems to be a lack of spark out there, and they're concentrating a great deal on their set plays, which I think they're going to have to readjust in these conditions.
That's Bruce Abernethy on the boundary line. Kingsley's handball, it missed. Franco's had it a few times. Wanganeen's had it plenty. Takes his time, kicks to the space, tried to draw it down the field. He's so good at that, Wanganeen. 5 kicks and 1 handball to the captain, who played in 2 Night Premierships, 2 Ansett Cup Premierships with Hawthorn, with Essendon, I should say, 93, and also in 94.
So I think the umpire a fairly courageous decision, I think, Robbo, if it had been a football park, not to play that one.
Oh, well, I think that's always been a conjectural part of our game, Jared, hasn't it?
Well, the umpires have been told to be far more stricter on this, and to me, Robbo, he's dragged the ball in there, and he's got his own man blocking in. That's a free kick.
So Franco moves it forward. Jonathan Hay, his immediate opponent, Warren Treadray. Umpire gives the all-clear for a boundary throw-in. Interestingly, we've had a lot of discussion about the bounce of the ball at the start of the game. I watched after Nick Holland kicked the goal, the central umpire, we're looking here at the weather conditions, expected minimum 13 at presently 17. The umpire did throw it in the air at the centre bounce after that Nick Holland goal. We've got a player leaving the ground through the blood rule. Might be as a Daniels by the look of it. So taking his time, obviously giving his replacement plenty of time to work it all out as to where he'll go and who his opponent will be.
And I think it also gives the match committee also time to reset their defence.
Harwood's come on, Mark Harwood, the 20-year-old. So Daniels to be patched up there, and again it'll be a ball up.
So I was just going to ask the Rat, Johnny Platten, where his allegiance is tonight. The
just
Hawks or South Australia?
Oh, thanks, Bruce. I knew that would come up during the night, but I probably goes down here at Waverley. I reckon the Hawks will win tonight.
Who made you, Rat? Who made you?
You, Dipper.
Oh, don't fall for that, Johnny Craig.
Robbo is bigger than me, so I can't.
Half forward for Port. They need a goal here.
Bruce, it's fair to say that I think that Port will have to change their style a little bit with this, Bruce. Instead of this chipping around, they do love to chip the ball wide, but I think they've got to get it their forwards a lot quicker and longer.
What about Darryl Poole, Peter? Would he be the sort of bloke in these conditions?
I think perfect for these conditions with his weight. I'd have him out there throwing his weight round that half-forward line, Gerard. Particularly as Hawthorn tend to get a lot of goals from running from that half-back line and creating space with their pace and running at their forward line, getting quick goals.
5-point margin. Salmon, that height advantage important. Burgoyne pushes forward. Vandenberg runs it out. Port look at it. Dew wants a free kick. Boundary throw in. Port Power with some support here. The crowd's actually built up a fair bit since the first bounce. I think the AFL is going to be delighted with the attendance here. There's a lot of thought about taking the game to Footy Park. I'm thinking they get a bigger crowd. Here's Taylor. Chance for Burgoyne. McCabe goes to the line. It's a boundary throw in. He's trying to find the points there. That's why it's not deliberate. I'd imagine that there's more than 40,000 here tonight. So they won the first night premiership here at Waverley in '77, the Hawks. Prior to that, the night competition will be played at the Lake Oval in Victoria. Off the ground and behind, I think, by Burgoyne. And Port go to 2 points. And Hawthorn through Holland are on 6.
Just having a look at the marking stats, already there's a clear advantage in favour of Port Adelaide with 11-5. And have a look at that last point. They're just looking to create goals at the moment. There's no real system in the forward line at present.
Well, surely in these conditions, a lot of systems just got to be thrown out the door, and it's all about mental application.
And I think that's the question, Robbo. Can Port Adelaide change quickly? Maybe they've got to put a tall fellow down in their forward line to attract the longer kick and allow the short fellows that are down there in abundance just to run onto it.
Oh, well done by Salmon. He marked that kick in. I thought he marked it, but the umpire's going to pull it up. What did you think there, Johnny?
A bit tough there, Robbo. I think the fish certainly said something to the umpire and says, have a nice day. But no, it's a fair mark, especially in these sort of conditions, Robbo.
Well, the umpire obviously not the opportunity to have a look at the slow-mo replay, but it looked as though it was a clean mark. Dickey gets the ball away to Wilson. They share it around. They're in the middle of the ground, Port Adelaide. Wanganeen into the pocket. Perhaps a little too short. He could have bombed it right into the goal square. Graham 50 metres from goal. Intercepted by Treadray. Little hand pass. Didn't quite work there. It was probably worth a try to Burgoyne. Didn't quite work. No, it's out there. Looks like Dew, is it? That Treadray. And not quite working. The ball pushed over for a boundary throw-in.
Dew's coming off, in fact. Chalmers.
Brendan Lade going back onto the ground, and well, I think you wouldn't be surprised, John, just to see him sit in a goal square at centre-half forward just to attract the longer kick.
Square off for the mark, not being awarded.
So the Hawks go forward. Thompson's come on the ground for Hawthorn to go on to Lade. Kick by Harper to half forward. Jonathan Robin is playing on Mead at the moment. Taylor around the body. Good kick, penetrating to full forward. Chance for Lord. Lord's worked it beautifully and kicks the goal. The second. Counter-punching at his best there.
Well, Bruce, I would say that 2 long kicks out of the back line from Hawthorn involved in a great goal by Aaron Lord. As you can see, Richard Taylor, good balance, turns around, long kick in the forward line. Aaron Lord, big strong fella, pushes Wilson out of the way, on his boot quickly. 6 points, thank you very much.
Gee, there's a good look at the crowd that has built up here at Waverley tonight. And we've had a fair bit of rain that fell before the start of the game. But it's terrific to see the footy fan loyal to the cause here. The Ansett Cup Grand Final. Jonathan Hay getting back. And the pressure applied by Treadray. I think Jonathan Hay would be happy with that result. Boundary throw-in.
Robbo, that goal by Aaron Lord, as the ball came down towards the goal square, he just pushed in the side his opponent to get the ball going his way, created an easy goal. It was terrific play, it was.
Well, thanks, Peter, for that one. And it was noted that Aaron Lord did play that very, very nicely. Salmon, left foot kick, slews off the side of his boot. It's over on the full. No nonsense. Salmon gets back to try and block up the gap where this ball is going to be kicked into by Fabian Francis. He's deep at centre wing. Decides to go short. Not really the good play. Hawthorn no-nonsense football, moving it quickly. Port Adelaide persisting with the short game. It's not coming off at this stage.
Port interchange there, including Braden Lyle, their vice-captain. Chalmers and Salmon. Graham playing loose across half-back, getting a heap of the footy in the first half. The first quarter, I should say, for the Hawks. Lord and Holland, the goal scorers. Good test for Port here. They've got to the grand final, playing a certain style of footy. They're being challenged with it tonight in bad conditions. We're going to see how versatile they are. Free kick to the Hawks. Half-back. Salmon came into the match with an injury crowd. There's the replay as the ball goes to half-forward. The target there was Robran. Franco to Burgoyne. Burgoyne delivers. Good kick. Out wide. Nick Stevens called to play on. Now on the left. Drills it towards Treadray. It was a hard ball, though, for Treadray to take. Late, I should say. And Thompson's back there with him. They came on together. As soon as Late came on for Dew, Thompson replaced Vandenberg and went on with him. Mark Williams, his father Foster, took Port Adelaide to 6 consecutive premierships in the 1950s in South Australia. The South Australian National Football League record. Taylor, it ricochets off a Port player and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
And the big fish has just had an incredible impact on this match. In this first quarter, his ability to get the loose ball from, or the neutral ball from boundary throw-ins, and also just intelligent positioning behind players really helped the Hawthorn cause.
Graham, still close to the boundary line, keeps it in that area. Robran not able to take the mark. Taylor playing the percentages, which basically, Johnny, is what the Hawks are doing pretty well early in this game.
They certainly are, Robert. They're botting it right up on the half back line of their area. And as you see here, I would imagine that Brennan Ladd might come over the top again here. There's a bit of a contest which they normally do, especially in the Port Powers forward line.
Well, Richard Taylor not able to break away. He's got the football firmly against his chest. 12 plays 2. Nick Holland has kicked the goal and Aaron Lord has kicked the goal for Hawthorn. And we repeat that Wanganeen had no hesitation whatsoever when he won the toss to go to the left-hand end of screen. And they're still goalless in this first term, Port Adelaide. Wanganeen with 6 kicks and 1 hand pass. Franco with 8 possessions and Kingsley with 7. Salmon. Good tap out to Woods. Woods quickly. Just a mongrel punt kick, but it's forced it forward about 35 metres. And taking it over there was Kingsley. Pushed in the back according to the umpire. And he will take the free kick. The umpires for this game, Gavin Dorr, Mark Nash and Hayden Kennedy. Sorry, John.
That's all right, Robert. Just a little bit soft there. I think they're just, maybe, in the side. Jared?
I'm with you, Johnny.
Lade goes early and gives a free kick away, but they paid it to Graham anyway, but Salmon probably got it. Graham's had 9 possessions in this opening term. It's been a big quarter for him. Dixon, Polk, interesting duel. Been 2 of the stars of the Ansett Cup. Wilson forces it over the line. Port still searching for its first goal.
Getting beaten at their own game, Port Adelaide at this stage.
It's a great lunge by Polton there, just the extra bit of pace and good timing to get that ball away from Dixon.
Late front spot. Treadray should get a free kick. He does. Advantage given. Franco's kick to centre half forward to a bit of space. Fegan bounce important. Oh, Graham trapped it well. Has a second go. Can't get clear. Egerton held him up. Comes back to Fegan. Can't get a handball away. In close. Dickey's high ball going to the goal square. A one-on-one situation. Laid back there with Graham. What an opening term Graham's having. Gives it off to Hassel. Hassel away. Kicks the ball out wide to space where Hartford's got a bit of room here. It sits neatly for him. He's at centre wing. Runs his full measure. Kicks the ball down towards half forward. Hawks outnumbered. Wanganeen comes over the top of Cox. Robin clever. One-hander like a dry night. kicks it in the direction of Holland. Paxman at the back, belts it down. Dixon's a good shot for goal. It's coming back. The whistle's gone. I think there's a free kick coming back. It's going to Hawthorn, is it? It is on the siren. So Dixon's going to have a shot.
Just have a look at this. Well, there's the free kick, but the positioning of Dixon was exemplary. He was just front and square at the feet of Nick Holland. He picked up with the ball. He drew the free kick, but he's a pretty deadly kick here, John.
It certainly is, Jared, and very, very important kick for the Hawks.
This would be a huge quarter for them. Dixon's going to kick from about 50, maybe fractionally inside of that. He's kicked 9 goals in the 3 matches so far. You can see the angle. He's straight in front. After the siren in the opening term, he's hooked it, going for distance and missed. So it's a behind to Dixon and to the Hawks. Got a handy lead at the first break. Ken Judge, who played in the Night Premiership here, and in his first season at Hawthorn in the daytime played in a Premiership in 1983 and was a teammate of Mark Williams of Brisbane for a short time in the late 80s. But it's Hawthorn leading at the first change.
And Darryl Poole into the ruck, and I think his instruction will just be to jump into the midriff of Paul Salmon.
Let's see how it works out. Salmon over the top, as you'd expect. Donald Dickey through the centre, kicks the ball to half forward. Hay and Treadray, good hands by Harford to Crode. Ricochets off the power though in Fegan. Handball on the up was pretty good. Free kick to Hay, no advantage given to Crawford. Coming back to Jonathan Hay at centre half back. So Chalmers starting in the goal square for Port Adelaide. On Graham, it may be a match-up job on Graham here, who ran right in the opening term with 11 disposals.
Bruce, I think Chalmers would have a lot of problems keeping up with Graham. Graham, a big edge in pace there.
Hayes kick back into the heart of the centre square. Rodman belted it forward, clever. Lord off the ground, was thinking because he had McCabe running for him. McCabe had an area, Wilson conceded ground, Chick after it. Also Daniels, I think, is back on the ground for the power, and they force it over the line for a boundary throw-in. The Big Dipper.
And the message was, we saw Aaron Lord there, just keep the ball moving forward and making sure that, don't try and do a lot with the ball. And obviously very happy with the matchups as we see the Hawks go forward once again, Bruce.
Yeah, that kick just slewing off the side of the boot there over for a boundary throw-in in that right forward pocket, and the kick coming from Barlow. So it's a difficult task now for Port Adelaide to get the ball from the full-back line all the way down to score. The Hawks need just a bit of good luck here, and they might score once again. The ball is with Johnny Hassel, gets it back to Taylor. Long shot by Taylor, goes just to the right side for a behind.
Yeah, sorry, Rob.
Go Dipper.
Ken was very happy with his matchups in that first quarter, making sure that Port Adelaide don't get a lot of space, as very aware of the players chipping the ball around. So good play then, and also just to keep the ball moving forward, as we saw Taylor just going for the long shot.
Well, it's, in my opinion, wet weather football, and they did well there. They scored a behind. It's the first score of the second term to the Hawks, as Franco will clear for Port Adelaide.
Interestingly, didn't use Polton, who was wider. Treadray, good effort though. Crode in the front spot. Courageous mark.
It's going to be a great kick, this bloke, Bruce, and show a lot of courage in. Eyes on the ball, fantastic effort.
That's a big mark, and belts it to centre half forward through Paul's fingers. Lord onto it. He's a good finisher and delivers. Another one for the Hawks.
They can nearly put the game out of Port Adelaide's reach here. If they kick another 2 goals, it's going to be a big task for them to get back.
Aaron Hall loves them types of goals. He's a great midfielder right through the forward line area. As you see here, falls off the pack. Great read of the pack. Runs onto it, looks up again, turns the ball around his left shoulder. Lovely.
So Lord's got a couple. Bruce, the interchange for the power.
There's Stuart Jew, Nick Stevens, Barnaby French, Brendan Lade, Mark Howard and Jared Schofield still on here. Steve Daniels had his eye and nose stitched up, he's back on. Darryl Poole and Brett Chalmers, the new forward line.
Salmon having an impact, got his hand to the ball there again. Hawthorn get the ball forward. Lord dispossessed. Good play at ground level by Dickey. This is Franco, under a bit of pressure, does well, gets it to Kingsley. Kingsley's on centre wing. Now Port Adelaide get the ball in their forward half. Great gather by Burgoyne, very skillful young player. Kicks the ball to full forward. Chalmers, beaten for it, well done by Salmon. He played the percentages again, Paul Salmon. And he's forced a boundary throw in, much to the delight of a pro Hawthorn crowd here at Waverley.
That's a fantastic effort by the big fish. He doesn't travel too far these days, Jared, but just to get to where he got to was a fantastic effort.
Mr. Efficiency.
Leckus there for the Hawks, along with Richard Taylor. Burgoyne.
Well, you want to see what's happening down the bench down here, boys. As you can see, one of these plays will be going on for either team.
That's
so they're playing
unbelievable.
fun and games at the moment.
Well, tell us what's going to happen, Dib. Make a prediction. Trying to crash his way through there was Kingsley. Not successful, boundary throw in. Now that is incredible, Jerry.
It is. It looks like the old days of British Bulldog.
Are you kidding?
First across the line wins.
Need a goal here.
I reckon Schofield will be coming on.
Tatslater will be with us later on the evening, Dipper.
Hassel to Crow to Crawford. Oh, he was confident. Took a good on and then delivers out wide to Woods, who drops the mark, but had some time. And around the body, Lyle's on him. Francis, lovely mark against Cox. Just gave him a shove out. Delivers to Fegan. Fegan at centre wing. Can quickly go on. The kick towards Chalmers. Chalmers has got it. It's a good mark. One-hander at first and then controlling it. He's a magnificent long kick, this fellow. Peter McKenna's got a reasonable view of this. Is this kickable, Peter?
Well, a doubtful into the breeze, Bruce, but Salmon's a clever player. He quickly gets back to block up that hole. He's down there with Jonathan Hay. I don't think he can make the distance. Be a huge kick from just outside 50, Bruce. But he is a big kick.
To the goal square. Salmon's back. Through the fingers in the end.
Bruce, I was just thinking that, look, they've got to do something with this forward line or the game will be gone. I'd be whacking Wanganeen up, and look at that interchange as we see the old British Bulldog. I'd be getting Wanganeen up into the forward area.
Salmon backhander. Crawford improvising. Play on not 10. Taylor was courageous. McCabe inboard. Breaks the line. Leckus couldn't quite get through. Barlow under the gun. Burgoyne. Important ball to be won here. He threw it away, Burgoyne. Meads quick kick forward. Salmon's onto it.
And that's the game plan of the Hawks. Keep the pressure on, make them kick quickly, because we know that there's Paul Salmon in the wall in defence.
Crawford, gee, the back turn, he went to ground. It was a big play. Polton's got hold of it for Port Adelaide. Nobody really to kick it to. And mark taken by Hay.
We haven't seen Port Adelaide under this sort of pressure as they've made their way to the grand final, and the Hawks clearly, from a game plan point of view, well on top.
Well, they're just persisting and getting it forward as quickly as they possibly can. A kick out of that congestion has scored a behind for the Hawks coming from Daniel Chick. And you just never know when a hack like, look at this. If he stands up and controls the footy, it could have been player of the night there by Crawford. Unfortunately, not able to keep his footing, and the ball's slipping away.
Good start to Shane Crawford. Good scalp getting Nathan Eagleton off the ground, his direct opponent. He is a match winner.
Francis, the kick in, to centre-half back. Still there, Franco, Taylor. Good pressure provided there by Barlow. Franco's hand pass missed its target. Hassel kicked it forward. Chance for Chick. Onto it, can't get the ball clear. Daniels does well. Oh, terrific tackle by Cox. Oh, great stuff by the Hawks on their forward line. Just to hold up the Port Adelaide defence, trying to clear the ball away. Hawthorn lead 21-2, and that young fella can hold his head high. Watch this tackle. Bang! Beautiful stuff by Cox. Now, what's happened here? There's been another rush behind to Hawthorn. They're second in the last 30 seconds.
Tell you what, Jared Polton can hold his head high too. He put his hands where a lot of players wouldn't a moment ago. It was a good sign for both those clubs. So Lord snapping and missing. He's having plenty of it. Port just needs something to happen. They're only 3 goals behind. It's not a whole lot, but they need something to happen.
just having a look at Adrian Cox. He's got immense talent. We saw him play in the opening match against Fremantle. Exquisite skills, knows where the goals are, but just looks as if he's down a little bit on aerobic fitness, and Ken Judge will probably use him in bursts.
Wilson to Paul. Paul, the inclusion tonight to Burgoyne. Burgoyne to Polton. Quickly on. Kingsley back to Polton. Pressure, in trouble. Gone. Just lost it in the end. The Hawks are being fierce. Taylor at centre wing. Long and low to centre half forward to Holland. Cox, chip. Can't quite get through. Terrific effort at the back there by Wilson. It was to hold him up. Port scramble it out to Paul. Was it out of bounds on the full? No, boundary throw-in. 22-2.
This is where Port Adelaide just fallen down a bit now. I think they've been tested tonight. The last 3 weeks they haven't. Tonight they have, and it's going to be interesting to see how they finish up with the game.
Well, we haven't had any rain of any significance fall for a little while, so maybe the conditions drying out a little might help Port Adelaide. They're under pressure back there. Wanganeen goes to ground, and quickly up though, hit the ground for a split second, back up again. And he's trying to lead by example. He had a tremendous amount of the football in the first quarter. The ball in the left forward pocket for Hawthorn in front of a sizable crowd here for the grand final of the night competition. Barlow not able to get through. Now there's a chance for Johnny Hassel. Awkward kicking style, and not what he would have desired. Maybe out on the full. It's going to be a kick to Port Adelaide anyway, because Paxman had taken the mark. Kicks it forward. Taken here by Mead. He's deep in his own defence. Still inside his defensive 50, Darren Mead. 22 plays 2. 3 goals for Hawthorn. Kicked by Holland, and Lord has kicked 2. Krogh at the back, Richard Taylor. Gives away a little bit of meterage. Treadray in the action. Just gets his left foot to it. Goes up towards the half-forward line. Taken here by McCabe. He kicks it long and high. No-nonsense footy by the Hawks. Punched away back there by Poole. Franco for Port Adelaide. Good kick. And Lyle onto the ground and into the action. Braden Lyle, important possession gatherer for Port Adelaide in the middle of the ground. But coughs it up, and Taylor marks safely on his chest.
Haven't seen much of Port Adelaide crossing from one side of the ground to the other, which they've done so effectively, and I think that's once again due credit to the pressure of the Hawks. Haven't been able to get themselves steady.
Kingsley good take after Mead got it away. Dickey in trouble, just took one stride too much. Crawford cut him off. Vandenberg can't get clear of his man. It's a good contest everywhere at the moment. Due back on. It's Mark Williams, captain of Collingwood. A couple of Copeland medals at Collingwood as their best and fairest. Celebrate a career, both at home and away. Burgoyne, chip kick to Treadray. Treadray wanting it to sit. They need a goal desperately. He's in trouble. Disorientated almost. An absolute waste in the end. Lyle with also Barlow. Back to Treadray. Treadray inboard. Hard ball here for Burgoyne. Not a good option from Treadray. He's wasted a couple. And Crow belts it away. Symbolic, that bit of play. Hawthorn long and direct. Port fiddling. Well done by Mead. Back to Wanganeen. Wanganeen sits on it, waits. Franco was turned the wrong way. Taken there by the Hawks. Pushed forward by Lloyd, who's come onto the ground. Back to Mead. Mead controls it well. This is better. To Lyle. To half forward. Treadray, Chalmers. Also Salmon, who keeps filling the hole. Graham slaps it back. Good take on the up there by Hassel, was it? Handball okay. Cut off there by Port Adelaide. Can't quite Kingsley. Ridden into the ground. McCabe, free kick going to Hawthorn. Advantage given, the Hawks are away.
Lloyd's kick finds Robert. Robert on his own at right half forward. Gets back onto the left side. Kicks effectively, but Paxman judged it a little better there than Nick Holland. And Paxman has taken the mark. Not quite back to full back. Paxman's kick out towards centre wing. Nearly a good effort out there by, is it Lekis? And he does well to get back and receive the hand pass. Again, a no-nonsense kick. High and direct towards Holland. Ball spills to the front. Lloyd bumped beautifully there by Schofield, but kept his concentration on the footy. McCabe for Hawthorn. Now Schofield again. He's going to get run down. No. Hand pass away to Dickey. Oh, terrific smother. Now that is the percentage football that has taken Hawthorn this far and might see them win another Night Premiership. Tony Woods on screen. Daniel Harford both having a rest on the bench, and that was great footy by Lekas.
That's just fantastic, Robbo. It's just a team-building part of the game, that is, and blokes see that, the confidence just goes sky high. Fantastic to see.
Taylor getting plenty of it. Wanganeen couldn't hold it. Gets back. Crawford and Wanganeen. That's a marquee matchup. Little kick away by Mead. Doesn't go far. Wanganeen, well done. And around the body. Doesn't find the target. Lloyd there, boundary throw in.
Robbo mentioned the no-nonsense a couple of times. That's what Hawthorn are doing better. They're just getting it, they're going along. Port Adelaide are worried there's too many moves. They've tried about 4 or 5 different forwards, and they really just have to get back to pretty basic football.
That was Ken Judge a moment ago. Franco's had his hands on it a fair bit. Treleven's with him. Franco forced towards the line, and Hawthorn will be pretty happy with all of this.
Bruce, it says some
forcing
terrific
him
stuff
out.
tonight. Sorry, Bruce, it says some terrific stuff. Crowe's mark, Adrian Cox's tackle, of course that smother here. And that's the sort of things that conditions like tonight can win a game of football for you.
Bruce, looking down the Port forward line, you've got Treadray and Chalmers and no small men. Now, how are they going to get goals with 2 tall guys under wet conditions? I would be getting Wanganeen, there they are, and you can see Chalmers. It's come down 2 or 3 times, and Graham, there he is. Mark Graham being far too quick for Chalmers. They need a little bloke that's quick and clever down there. I'd go bite the ball, put Wanganeen down there.
Peter McKenna, we saw Tony Woods a moment ago. Crawford's got it. He had a hamstring problem, Woods. Couldn't play in the last match. He looks like he might have a problem again tonight. Dipper will check on that. Crawford's kicked to centre half forward to Dixon. Lord was in the front and square position. Polton's hot handball taken by Lyle. Lyle kicks to centre wing. Important ball here.
Well, he's had a couple of possessions, Braden Lyle, and he might be the player that can spark Port Adelaide. So good, this guy, Schofield. Little kick, not well directed. Crowe doing a good job. He's standing tall, Trent Crowe. Out to Barlow. Very good vision. Great running support by Hassel. Hassel into the middle of the ground, a little too high for McNabe. Onto it again was Hassel to try and make up for a slight error that he made with that kick. And the ball knocked up by Josh Franco. And he's going to be penalised for not moving it on. And if you look bemused, Josh, I think quite a few Port Adelaide fans might as well. Hawthorn to kick to within scoring distance. Lord again tries to unselfishly tap it on. Maybe looking for a little bit too much finesse there, Aaron Lord. It doesn't quite work.
Bruce, Wanganeen has gone. No, Robbo, Wanganeen has gone to full forward as I suggested, and exactly what they needed, a bit of brilliance in the square.
Terrific stuff, Peter. Well done and well spotted, well predicted. Gavin Wanganeen in screen there. Crawford back there with him. By gee whiz, they've got to get the ball to him though, and they're having trouble doing that. Hawks working overtime on their forward line, just to lock it up and give their forwards a measly chance at another goal. They lead 22-2.
The Hawthorn bench, I have checked with Tony Woods. He's okay, Bruce, so he'll be ready to come back on any time.
Thanks, Dipper. Good news for the Hawks. Lloyd ridden into the ground. Too high, free kick within 20 metres of goal.
Gee, this is a bonus, isn't it?
Well, I think they went a bit stiff, the Hawks, not to have had a couple of holding the ball decisions paid their way. Umpires seeming to have different definitions depending on what area of the ground it is. But, well, this one there, it is pretty clear over the shoulder, bit of in the back. Just needs to convert.
Brad Lloyd to kick from about 20 metres. Angle's pretty tight. So that shot from the other end of the ground. This would give Hawthorn a terrific advantage. He's careful with it, very careful, and misses. Just tried to guide it rather than kick through it. But the Hawks in control. They've had 8 scoring shots to 2. It's 23-2, very short. Dickey's got hold of it from Francis.
You can see the 50-metre arc there in front of Donald Dickey, so still deep in Hawthorn's full forward area. Hooks the kick out wide. And that's a mark. Well done by Treleven. He's been pretty quiet by his standards. Just his 4th possession. Back to Robran. Robran's left foot kick. Player in good position there was Chick. Dickey throws himself on the footy and locks it up for Port Adelaide across their half-back line.
Well, there's a bit of talent going to waste just at the moment out of the play up in the Hawks forward line and Port Adelaide's forward line. Crawford versus Wanganeen, the 2 skippers matching up and 180 yards from the play.
Dickey kicks it clear of that pack of 3 or 4 players, finds the safety. There's Wanganeen and Crawford, way back there in the Port Adelaide goal square. And the football is 180 metres away at the other end of the ground. 23 plays 2, just goals to the Hawks so far. Good smother, terrific smother. That might have been half it. And kicked high by Francis. Touched off the boot maybe, close to the line. And it's knocked over in the finish by Paxman for a boundary throw-in.
Deep in Hawthorn's attacking half. Holland, first goal of the match. Paxman works to the front, just pushes towards the line. Burgoyne, Kingsley, he was out of play when he got his foot to the footy. So again, a boundary throw-in.
Bruce, Porter brought another small man down with Wanganeen, Nick Stevens.
Interesting handball, that one.
Yep, that was Franco's little give a moment ago. Peter McKenna telling us about the changes to Port's forward line, restructuring. Holland. Just wonder at the moment how they're going to get it there. Perhaps we're about to find out. Franco's little kick. Lord, clever, found some space, confident enough to bounce it and then bang it to full forward. At the back was Daniels. Under pressure on the up was Lyle. Gets it out to Jew. I think that might be his first touch of any form, and he finds the line.
And there's a disciplined young man there standing alongside him who put him off the ground in the first quarter. That's Vandenberg.
So the Ansett Cup's Port have been fluid early. They've averaged 8 goals to half-time. A different story tonight. Salmon, great tap to Barlow. Belts it inside 50. Holland goes up, gets rid of Dickey. Lord, well done, Franco. Stood his ground really well. Gets it to Paxman. Paxman's vision was excellent. To Kingsley. Kingsley goes to the line, gets it. Boundary throw-in. Port defence holding up well under enormous pressure.
Well, I think both defences are well and truly on top. It's just that when Port Adelaide go into their forward line, as they've done on a number of occasions, they go in without any real system or confidence, and they still are trying to get their goals from short passes. Forwards on the end of short passes, and we've seen both sides be unable to do that for nearly a half a footing.
Yeah, it had to be disappointing for Port Adelaide, that, to be honest, they haven't even looked like kicking a goal so far.
So the Hawks would be further ahead if it wasn't for this at quarter time. Dixon getting the free kick, and then after the siren hooking it and missing the goal.
Boundary throw in, right half forward flank area for the Hawks. They lead 23-2. And Port Adelaide still goalless, and we're close to half time.
It's a bit strange to see Port Adelaide without a goal on board. They've normally over the Ansett Cup, they've got off to a real good start.
Well, not tonight, John. The Hawks are on a big mission. Daniels rebounds back. Under pressure is Francis. Gee, they were in numbers there, weren't they? Rodman to Trelevin. Trelevin across his left shoulder. Gets good distance. Holland! Just superior strength by Nick Holland. Out-positioned his opposition there. And marked very, very nicely. He's certainly within scoring distance, but you can see now the angle is going to be a difficult one.
Well, statistically, he hasn't been a dominant force, Nick Holland, but he just has given them something to aim at, which has created, well, a couple of goals. We know he kicked the first one, but he's been a pillar of strength down there, and he's also been able to do the ruck work and allow the fish to sit one back behind the play.
Study of concentration, only 15 metres out, slide angle, and not quite what he was looking for. 1 goal, 1 against his name. Just 3 kicks, but as Gerard mentioned, certainly giving them something as a target up forward. Disappointed man. Paxman accepts the kick in. 3-6 plays, 2 behinds. 2 minutes left to the half-time break here in this grand final of the Ansett Cup.
Last 7 scoring shots for the Hawks, just 1 goal. They've kicked 1-6, free kick, going to Hawthorn, and is it 50? It is.
Well, it was a very ordinary free kick, in my opinion.
Well, the umpires have been instructed, according to Ian Collins, to pay all infringements.
6-1 in this quarter in favour of Hawthorn.
This is a vital time. A goal here either way makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Well, they've had a couple. The one to Brad Lloyd looked as though it was a free kick, but to get straightforward chances, I mean, there's only been 3 goals kicked in the game. To have 2 definite straightforward chances as a result of just iffy free kicks, I think, just creates a little bit of doubt in the mind of the Port Adelaide fan.
So Salmon, the right man, you'd reckon, from here. Almost directly in front. And puts it through.
And as distinct from the others, he kicked the ball.
Yeah.
He didn't try to steer it. Right from the first time he took a step, he was just going to kick that footy, wasn't he?
He did kick it beautifully, Robbo, the wet ball. And I'm not sure why the 50-metre came here. Maybe he handballed it to his own man. And that constitutes 50 metres. Donald Dickey.
So the big fish gets his first, and the Hawks get their fourth.
And I would reckon Donald Dickey would be wishing he still had his hair on.
Well, there's not a hole out there for him to hide, Bruce, but he's made the mistake. He'll have to live with it, and he's got to do what every other Port Adelaide player in the remaining part of this game has got to do, and that's lift.
Are you referring to the 50-metre or the haircut?
As far as the hole's concerned, no, I think the 50-metre undisciplined play. Treleaven, chance for the Hawks again before half-time. Dixon doesn't mind this setup. Ben Dixon goes in and gets another Hawthorn goal. First goal of the game to Ben Dixon, but more importantly, they are the two goals that Hawthorn were looking for close to half-time. They lead by 34 points in a low-scoring encounter.
Well, Robbo, he started right from the centre of the bounce here. Great tap by the big fish here. Gets a free kick, gets the ball in quickly, and as we point out, very much often, if you move the ball quickly down the forward line, you're sure to kick a goal, which Ben Dixon did.
Terrific goal by Dixon. What a great kick. 36-2. They've opened it up, haven't they, in the last couple of minutes. French goes early this time against Salmon. And again, it'll be a ball up.
And Platts, as you mentioned, it started in the middle. When that goal went through, I was looking at Paul Savage, just clenched his fist and said, I'm glad I'm out here.
15 times into their forward 50, Hawthorn. 6 to Port Adelaide in this quarter.
Hay to Treleaven. Goes long, gets the ball inside 50. Front spot was Lloyd. Well done by Francis. Back to Lloyd. Lloyd's kick to the pocket. Over Paxman's head. Holland getting back, boundary throw in. Right forward pocket, almost on half time. Shea Cockatoo Collins, who we haven't seen a whole lot about. Look at Salmon. Fired up the fish. 4 premierships at Essendon, a couple of day and a couple of night ones, and he's in the driving seat here. Now Treadray just belts it straight back over the line. In fact, he's the only player on the Hawthorn team tonight who's been in a premiership. Treadray, they've just fallen apart a bit here late in this second quarter, Port. They were hanging on grimly. Sort of Leckers, it comes away. McCabe, this is another one. It's a goal. Right on half-time. McCabe and probably Chick. McCabe gets the kick. It might be a Chick goal. Going there, and Chick's got it. So Chick gets the goal. 3 goals in the last 3 minutes for the Hawks. A sensational finish to this opening half, and Hawthorn have blown the match open. A huge last 3 minutes for Hawthorn, and at half-time they've got a big lead here in the Ansett Australia Cup final. Power to the left of screen. The Hawks with a 40-point advantage. Salmon's been tremendous. Lade goes hard against him at the first bounce. Remembering that Primus has been out for most of the Ansett Australia Cup. And it'll be another ball up. Umpires throw it up in the Ansett Cup except for the start. Daniels. Schofield. They're just struggling the power. Lyle's caught. Good tackle on him by Chick, who kicked the goal on half-time.
I was going to say that the reason Port Adelaide can't get a score is that they are being crowded as much as Peter McKenna was just then when we went to him, Bruce. They're smothering them. Each time they go for the ball, there's 2 or 3 Hawks into them, tackling and harassing.
In the back against Kingsley, he'll go to Vandenberg. Gave him a little shove. So Vandenberg Off to Leckers. Leckers deep and high. He wants Holland. Holland played it cleverly defensively. Wanganeen good to Polton. Polton on the left leg. Not a particularly good kick. He's wanting it near the boundary line. The Hawks look a bit quicker. Graham towards the line to Barlow. Barlow inboard. Good contest there. Lyle able to get it to Polton. Terrific tackle, Leckers. And a ball up between centre wing and half forward. Hawthorn in attack.
I think Vandenberg was in that again, where he just came at the football and made the contest, just provided. He's number 21 in the foreground. You'll see him there. He's just got eyes for the football. Tremendously determined young fella and a disciplined Hawthorn player. They've been a very disciplined unit, as was Dipper. What about at the interchange, Dip?
Yeah, Jonathan Waldman. Aaron Lord's on the bench, but he's okay. I've checked with that. Nathan Thompson, Tony Woods, Chris Osborne and Adrian Cox.
We haven't seen Collicker as yet in the game, and he's been very impressive. The couple of times we've seen him, he's right down the end there of that interchange bench, and I'm sure that the Hawks will be looking for just steady improvement from Collicker as the season progresses. Salmon, the ruck work, up against Lade. On this occasion, Lade's left hand, down at the front. Franco allows it just to roll over. Mark Williams, what sort of a trick can he pull out of the box here? Still goalless, Port Adelaide.
But just that loose kick that came out from Jared Polton. The first three players, they were all Hawthorn players, which basically sums up attitude at the moment.
Yes, they're certainly hunting in the numbers, the Hawks. There it is again. Dispossessed was Franco. Barlow to Crummett in the direction of Lord. Vandenberg may be rewarded here for his efforts. Crawford receiving the hand pass. Left foot kick by Crawford towards full forward. Underneath the pack was Lord, which is where he should be. Not a bad kick across his body, but it's mopped up by Wanganeen.
To Polton short. Under pressure. It was a tough kick actually in these conditions. Francis back turn. Puts his man under the pump. And Wilson, good tackle. Leckers has been excellent. Salmon, Leckers, Mead and also Lloyd into it. Polton towards the line. Holland on top of him, claims him. It'll be a ball up, I think. It's half forward left.
Looks as if Nick Holland in most one-on-one marking battles is just trying to bring the ball to the ground rather than going for the mark, just to get it to the front of the pack, and Hawthorn are consistently getting more players there.
Out on the fall, I think, so the free kick to Braden Lyle, who started on the interchange, which was pretty interesting. Port still to kick a goal. Kicks to centre wing. Wanganeen, well done. He has to take chances, the champ. Kicks the ball towards Cockatoo Collins. McCabe, back turn, clever, and then delivers to Vandenberg, who's off. Breaks it too easily. On his left leg to fall forward. Front spot was a Chick. Had all the hair cut off during the week. Little handball to Holland. Forces back to Lord. Lord can't quite get a handle on it. Back to Chick. Chick goes for goal. It's close. It's a goal. It's his second. Oh. How far? 48-2.
Well, Bruce, they're just unbelievable at the moment, the Hawthorn team. They're just they're tackling, they're front and square, they're packs all the time, their handball's good. They're a well-disciplined side right at the start of the year. So, you know, I'm saying that Hawthorn will be one of the sides of the year this year.
Chicks kicked the last 2 goals of the match.
Gee, a very important first goal of the second half to Hawthorn, kicked by Daniel Chick to give the Hawks the advantage now by 46 points. Everything just rolling in their favour. A free kick from this centre bounce will go to Salmon. He's been absolutely sensational, Salmon. Oh, the positive now of Hawthorn is right up. Robrin has the football. He's a long kick of the ball. Goes short. It's all right. The kick was intended for Holland, but just covered 2 players in front of the lead, and Holland marked safely on his chest.
It's really the first time we've seen Hawthorn in a set structure going into their forward line. It's almost perhaps the first time I've seen a short pass to a lead in the Hawthorn's forward zone.
I think Hawthorn have used some conditions very, very well tonight. Now, Bruce, did I say the first 2 goals to Hawthorn or Port Adelaide?
It's gone to Hawthorn anyway, John. 2 goals to Holland, 2 goals to Lord, and 2 goals to Chick, and yes, that is the score, 54-2.
Gee, Robin's done a good job on Mead tonight.
Yeah, key player, wasn't he? I think most people expected the battle to be between Mead and Nick Holland, the winner of that battle. A number of people expected to determine the outcome, but it hasn't been. A good job by Robin.
Well, you reckon Ken will be pretty happy at the moment. 54-2. Holland gets his second goal. Robin doing very well on Mead. Kingsley gets it. Back to centre half forward. Crow couldn't quite. Port just can't get clear, and Treadray's got it. There was a very famous grand final in the South Australian National Football League when Port kept North Adelaide to 1 goal only. Mickey Noonan was coaching North that night. Should we talk about it? They haven't been able to get a goal yet. It's 8 goals to nothing here. 54-2. Nothing happening for the Power. Laid frustrated. Salmon has been outstanding. Gee.
That's ridiculous.
Nothing in that at all, was there, really? Salmon kicks it back in the direction of Barlow. Up takes the mark.
You know, when a team leads by this emphatic margin, Gerard, it's pretty hard to find an ordinary player in a Hawthorn jumper.
Well, there isn't a defender with an X against them, is there?
They've been absolutely first class, and their disciplines. The coach can give all the instructions in the world, but if the 18 boys in your jumpers don't go out there and do, or try to do, all the things you ask of them to the best of their ability, you're in a bit of strife, and Hawthorn tonight have just been fantastic. They go forward again. You nearly mark this down. You nearly mark it down. You would mark it down, Craig, for 11. It's all Hawthorn. That scoreboard is lopsided. 9 goals, 6 to 2 behinds.
This is a brilliant handball in this passage of play. Aaron Lord, I remember seeing him here play for Geelong on final against Carlton. He's a player that's just getting better and better at this club. But a very sneaky handball. I think it may have even been
Chick maybe?
From Chick, yeah, got a ball from the contest to set that one up.
Irresistible at the moment, Hawthorn. They're playing magnificent footy. 9-6 to 2 behinds. Lade goes early. Barlow to 11. They're celebrating the Hawks. Inside 50. Lord looks for a free. Wilson and Polton are onto him. Lord playing it in front. Polton keeps his head over the footy, and it'll be a ball up. They kicked 3 goals in the last 3 minutes of the first half, and they've kicked 3 here in the first 8 minutes of this. So they've kicked 6 goals in 11 minutes, the Hawks. They've really powered away. 60 plays 2. Wouldn't have believed it if we told you that this would be the score. Mead, who's had a very frustrating night. Robin doing well on him. Barlow's got it to full forward. Not quite by Lloyd. Taken by Holland. Francis goes towards the line. And Wanganeen there in a boundary throw-in. What can Port salvage from the wreck?
But they've kept it in their forward line. They've kept putting pressure. Like the games that we've seen Port Adelaide win, it's come from their full-back line and their half-back line. Hawthorn have done their homework. They're just working overtime on the Port Adelaide defenders, and they can't clear the ball out.
Yeah, true, Robert. They've done very, very well. You know, part of the game, you know, the last 3 weeks of Port Adelaide's game is right from the half-back line, from the Wanganeen set up right through the goal. So the Hawthorn boys have done pretty well tonight.
So their attack has defended really well, hasn't it? Mead, Treleaven, still with Treleaven.
Well, he was shackled nicely early, Craig Treleaven. That's a free kick maybe paid against Wanganeen to Crawford, I would think. Perhaps not the mark, and certainly the late tackle.
I think the most damning statistic is the inside 50. Generally, clubs have about as much ball inside 50 as each other, win, lose or draw. Tonight it's 30 the Hawks, 14 to Port.
Gee, good kick by Crawford. It'll go nearly all the way. Push out. Free kick to Port Adelaide. It looks like Paxman's free kick. And it might be against Dixon, maybe. Paxman. And you see there Dixon infringing against Paxman as we see the replay. So Paxman to kick out to the members' side of the ground. Gets the ball outside his defensive 50. No mark taken by Lay, but mopped up by Dixon. Gives away the hand pass to no one in particular, just trying to force it forward. Wilson combining with Franco across the half back line for Port Adelaide. The kick goes near the wing. Now the race is on. The nippier Taylor against the lumbering Poole. Well done by Daryl Poole. Coming from behind, forces a boundary throw in, which probably wouldn't really concern Richard Taylor. It's a 50-50 ball between wing and left half forward favouring Port Adelaide. And the lowest ever night score registered to the Bombers. 2-6. Port Adelaide a candidate in this match. Just 2 behinds, and we're deep into the third quarter.
John, I know it's the game could still be won with an amazing turnaround. Probably safe to say it's home. Would you take Paul Salmon off, given that he's had a bit of a hamstring problem?
Oh, we'll take my probably the last 10 minutes of this quarter, Jared, and give that Nathan Thompson a go.
Graham to Harford to centre wing, and again a boundary throw-in.
He's a pretty clever player, Daniel Harford. He's smart, he uses the ball well. If he can just keep going with it, that's the part of his game. He's a real smart player.
See, when Peter Burgoyne kicked that ball off the ground for a point, we didn't think we'd be waiting this long. Last score, 16 and a half minutes into the first quarter. Vandenberg needs a long kick if he gets a chance. Overplayed at a fraction, and then bangs and goes and kicks it. Another one.
Good ball.
He is a thumping kick. He just drilled it home. 10-0. Have a look at that.
Salmon again.
Once again, the Fish just getting the ball forward. They knew it was going there. They've got a clear advantage in every ruck tap out so far. And as you said, Robbo, good on you, because he recovered from the sets from a bit of a difficult position.
I think he thought he'd lost it then, Chad. Well, tremendous stuff by another young Hawthorn player. We saw them grow in stature towards the end of season 1998. They won, 6 or 7 games towards the end of the year. 5, was it, Bruce? And even the games that they lost early in the year, they had some control of the game and somehow managed to lose a few of them. Schofield overrunning it. Wanganeen run down. Is that in the back? What? Oh, I can't believe that. Leckus out wide, and the mark is taken by Hassel. Well, what possible chance did he have of getting rid of this? The tackle from behind took him into the turf. It's either play on or a free kick to the Port Adelaide player.
Well, I think he had time to get rid of the ball then, so I'm on Crawford's side.
Eagleton to Schofield. Schofield's kick, Eagleton, who was taken to the ground early, played in the full forward line. Schofield back to Wanganeen. Half volley by Franco's had a lot of the footy. Not much has happened when he's got it. Then now delivers to full forward. Salmon back there. Paul gets a cockatoo. Collins is going to kick one. He's got it. We better take note. How far into the third quarter? 10-6 to 1-2. It's been a long time coming.
Well, John, I knew you were right, but it just took a little bit longer for it to happen. But they've got to get the next one.
That's right, Jared. Get 2 in a row. But great effort. You know, like they just keep at it and keep at it, and great feed off the pack. Kicks a great goal, and that's what Che Cockatoo Collins need a goal.
The goal kicker for Port Adelaide, Che Cockatoo Collins. 2/3 the way through the third quarter. They were goalless in the first half. And Cockatoo Collins has got their first. Very, very much into the third term. Trelevin tries to break away. Confronted by Franco. Ball spills to Crawford. Crawford goes straight towards goal. Holland out position. At the back, Francis. Punched away by Daniels. Ball out wide. Lloyd doing the chasing. Wanganeen to mop up. Little hand pass. Lyle, the recipient. Short kick is all right. Francis has run all the way down from where he initiated that passage of play. Fabian Francis, one of their playmakers in their efforts to get to this final has Fabian Francis been. Daryl Poole trying to direct some traffic close to centre half forward. Now the kick by Franco is high, and back there judging it well is Crow. He's been very steady across the half back line. Not big stats, but certainly stating a play for the Hawks. He's kicking towards the middle of the ground. Daniels tries to get rid of his opponent. Wanganeen controlling the football. Just keep your eye on it. I think for young kids, just watch Gavin Wanganeen. Stevens, Bruce Abernathy mentioned, should have been on the ground maybe a little earlier. He is a goal kicker, and he's got the football wide between wing and right half-back flank.
Goes to half forward, Paul gets rid of his man, goes on to Dew on his wrong side, gets to full forward, Treadray. Hay was good, Cockatoo Collins' handball was terrific. Here's a chance, wonderful tackle at the back from Hay, was fantastic, and it's a behind. Hay on Dew was just terrific stuff. Port looked in here, and Hay was strong enough to actually hold on to the jump and bring him down.
That's great. That is fantastic, Bruce.
Another top effort by a Hawthorn player. Crawford has the footy. Little kick is pretty good under pressure. Chance here for Richard Taylor across his left shoulder. And Paxman and Holland. Holland may be looking to be awarded the mark, not forthcoming. And the umpire will ball it up on centre wing.
I think this could be a great opportunity to see Paul Salmon come off the ground now, Gerard, just to give him that extra 5 or 6 minutes rest.
Paxman over the top. Go, Gerard.
Well, I think they've just taken Robrin off, so maybe it'll be three-quarter time for the big fella.
Still under pressure, Port Adelaide. Gee, they're lousy, aren't they, the Hawks? Even Nick Holland looking for touch and then chasing it to try and indicate that it wasn't deliberate, but he couldn't fool the umpire. He was having nothing of that.
I think poor old Nick was in two minds then. Poor fella.
What, kick it out of bounds or kick it out of bounds?
Well, I think he was coming off there at one stage and he just kicked it to the boundary.
Oh, it was a good attempt. Oh, Cockatoo Collins up high and early. Keeps McCabe away from it, and he's been awarded the mark. So the chance for Shea Cockatoo Collins to get his second and Port Adelaide's second goal within the space of a couple of minutes, and to say that it's desperately needed would be a rare understatement. Just one kick for a goal. Second could be a second goal. It's coming around. Well done. He's kicked the goal. Two goals to Cockatoo Collins within a couple of minutes. Just gives Port Adelaide some semblance of a chance. 8 goals behind in a night football match is a big task, and the Hawks are taking all before them.
Well, I guess the greatest risk is to take no risk at all, but each game I've seen Port Adelaide play, they've started with Cockatoo Collins alone in the goal square, and they've been able to pinch a quick one. This time they started with 3 smalls, which crowded it a bit.
Salmon at full forward with Paxman on him. So well done, Cockatoo Collins. Port getting a couple of goals. So it's 10 to 2. French getting over the top. Kingsley's handball was terrific to Franco. Franco finds some space and then kicks towards half forward. Treadray hasn't been able to hold one all night. McCabe and Cockatoo Collins is giving them something here. Cockatoo Collins, his handball a moment ago was good, as well as his goals, and a boundary throw in. 66 to 15. Doesn't that look better than 66 to 2?
The ball!
Nah.
Paul. I guess everything's relative. Thompson. And Treadray, and again a ball up. Port had to get something from this match when they were trailing 10 goals to nothing. They've at least been able to get a couple of goals. Free kick to Treadray, surely. Oh, not paid.
And the umpire's 5 yards away.
Hay riding him into the ground and over his shoulder, and no free kick. Didn't quite get on the end of it, unfortunately. Treleaven with one. Thought about a second, and then handed it over to Hassel, who's been good. To Barlow wide, there's some space here for the Hawks. Barlow runs his full measure, and then goes long and high and hard to Salmon. At the back, Crawford. Also Francis. Wanganeen Francis left foot to the line. Boundary throw in left forward pocket for the Hawks. Barlow coming off for Hawthorn.
Just see then that the big fish did not move then. He just put his hand up and said, just kick it to me. I think the big fellow's probably just a little bit tired.
Colliker coming on the ground at the expense of Barlow. Salmon doing the ruck work on the full forward line. Wanganeen concedes a behind. 67 plays 15. Wanganeen, he's tried his heart out. Novel fan, Port Adelaide fan. Who's he supposed to be, Jared?
A Port Adelaide fan.
Paxman to kick in.
You are harsh, Jared.
52 points, the difference. Colliker already. Vandenberg, grabbed by the leg maybe. Lord, Colliker, left foot snap by Colliker. He's only been on the ground for 30 seconds. Paul Salmon told you what it is. Well, what a dream start to this game for Michael Colliker, replacing Barlow just a matter of seconds ago, and he's on the end of this.
It's just that front and square, Robert. I think over the last 3 quarters and a half, it's just been fantastic, and that results in a great goal.
Great effort by Colliker. We saw him against the Bulldogs. He was terrific. Kid in his first season. 11 goals to 2. French, Thompson, Trelevin, brought over the top, and again a ball up.
Peter McKenna will be happy. Mark Graham's now gone up to the forward line, playing at centre half forward.
He's a good player, Dipper, very versatile.
Kicked by Colliker out of the pack. Belted away by Daniels. Wanganeen. Mead, courage by Leckis to take it off his boot, basically. Wanganeen looked high on him. Schofield hurries a kick back to centre wing. Taylor would... Well done, Burgoyne has been quiet. Eagleton's been quieter than most people on the ground. Little left footer, okay, and that's better. Treadray's on the end of it. Is that his first mark for the night? Must be. Certainly his first shot for goal. First mark he's taken tonight.
It's actually Nathan Eagleton's first kick as well, which is a staggering result, and I guess it's reflected on the scoreboard because he is one of their major playmakers, and you see him there just chipping the ball.
So it's a wobbly shot at times, Treadray. That's going to miss. It's a behind. It's one area of his game that he's going to have to really work on. Official attendance tonight, wait for it, 49,874. That is a fantastic turn-up. Nearly 50,000 people here. And remember, it was pouring with rain an hour before the start of this match.
Gee, we just saw a replay, Jared, of and Johnny Platt and you understand all the disciplines about Leckis on the half-forward line. That's mother.
He's a great player, Leckis, and underrated player. He's been around the club now for probably 6 or 7 years, Leckis, and he's just at it all the time and at it. He's got great fitness. So hopefully that he can just keep going and be one of these senior players.
He must be just highly respected. There's the lowest ever grand final score, 2 goals 8 to North Melbourne in 1978. But well-respected player is Leckis with the Hawthorn Brains Trust. Cockatoo Collins up high. Now, the umpire spotted a holding decision there. It will go to Cockatoo Collins. He'd be half a chance to score. Is he a renowned long kick of the footy? You think?
Yeah, he's not too bad, Robbo. He's what is he, 50 out? So he's probably had a big chance of getting it. Got a bit of a wind behind him.
Well, the breeze has dropped a little, I would think, since significantly quarter time. But going with whatever aid at his back, good long kick right to the line. Is it over the line? The goal umpire having a good look there. It is a behind.
Well, I followed a truckload of Port Adelaide supporters into the ground tonight, so it was just fantastic to see them coming over. They'd obviously been disappointed, but it's been a magnificent Ansett Cup campaign for them. Obviously, they'll go home and have to restart their season, but tremendous, Bruce, just to see so many supporters making the journey.
No doubt about that. And this, each and every year, this final of the Ansett Cup surprises us with the turnout. We've had some great crowds over the years. But the Hawks going well. Good Mark Thompson, who kicked that very important goal against the Bulldogs last week. Inboard to Taylor. Taylor belts the ball down towards half forward. Running onto it is Harford. Ridden into the ground, no free kick. Holland was strong. Handball to Colliker. Colliker lines him up. Measures it, kicks it. Oh, no, hits a post. He stiffed the kid. 21-year-old.
I think the Fish would have been credited with a fair assist here as well. His shepherding job was quite superb.
Have a look at this. It was always going through. Just clipping the post on the line. Francis belts it back in. Have a look at this for a kick. Into the centre square. Thompson's taken a beauty.
I'll tell you what, this kid will develop. The more football he plays, you'll see a lot of Nathan Thompson. Tony Woods takes the hand pass, kicks it in the direction of Salmon. The ball spills to the back. Lyle under pressure goes for the safety of the boundary line. Three-quarter time siren sounds, and it's an emphatic advantage to the Hawthorn Football Club. That is the scoreline at three-quarter time. They kick 5 goals to 2 in that third quarter, and Hawthorn lead 11-8 to 2-5 with a quarter left of the 1999 Ansett Cup.
Big comebacks, but this will be a big job ahead of them.
Monumental. Thanks, Bruce. 11-8 to 2-5. Just no way out, is there, really? No way out.
Well, you'd have to expect Hawthorn to drop off the pace, and I'm sure Ken Judge would be punishing his players to finish the game off. So very, very difficult task.
Salmon and French. Taylor belted it forward. On by Colliker, I should say. Crawford. Miscue by Wilson. Stevens to Lyle. Lyle's kick up towards half forward. Paul. With him is Crow. Nearly at the line. Boundary throw-in. What about the Hawthorn bench dipper?
Yes, Bruce, we've got Jonathan Rodman, Chicky, Brad Lloyd, Ben Dixon, Richard Vandenberg and Chris Barlow.
Geez, some good players there, aren't they? It just shows you how good the Hawks have been all night. 4 or 5 of those blokes have been key players in their performance so far. French's kick, belted forward by the power, but straight to Crawford. Crawford measures it towards Lord. Ricochets away, Colliker's quick. He'll be first there by a long stretch. And takes his man on. He's an exciting player. Kicks the ball to full forward. Front spot was Thompson, another exciting youngster. Cox missed it, half its handball wide. Trelevin back. Colliker again. High ball to centre half forward. Centering ball, Holland almost. Stevens under the pump. Did well. To Lyle. To Dickey. Misses the body. In trouble, Paxman. Taken by Graham. Has he done it? He has. The birthday boys kicked the beauty. Symbolic of what's happened tonight. 12-8 to 2-5.
I'm sure that the birthday boy, Mark Graham, would have enjoyed that. He thinks he's a bit of a forward, but I've always said to him he makes a better backman. But he showed a bit of promise here. Turned around over his right shoulder, and a lovely goal by Mark Graham.
Oh, the defenders love that, Johnny. Going down there, getting a chance to kick a goal.
And you watch, he'll hang on this for the next 2 weeks. Don't worry about that.
Well, certainly a good start there for Hawthorn early in the last quarter. Bruce Abernathy, the Port Adelaide bench.
Yeah, Stuart Dew, Peter Burgoyne, Brendan Lade, Nigel Fegert, Brett Chalmers, all those big fellas, and of course the skipper Gavin Wanganeen.
Well, still Hawthorn irrepressible. Get the ball out of the centre. I think it may have come from Tony Woods. Daniels for Port Adelaide. No one to kick to, so he's just got to find touch right on centre wing.
Robbo, I was at Port Lincoln during the week, as you know, at the Cup, and there were thousands of Port Power supporters there who told me what they were going to do to Hawthorn. They'd be pretty disappointed down there, all those tuna fishermen, mate.
Well, that's true, Pete. I think they had high expectations, as every team does when they get into a grand final, but they've just been completely outrun and out-disciplined, and their desire to get into a position to help their teammates, the Hawks, has been enormous. Free kick just been found there because the Hawks were away with the footy.
Robbo, those high
Jason
expectations.
Dunstall right in the middle of the screen there, an interested onlooker, of course.
Robbo, those high expectations were pretty justified with the 3 performances from Port Adelaide so far, but tonight they haven't been a shadow of the team that played the last 3 Ansett Cup games.
That's true, Bruce, and gee whiz, the Hawks have done their homework. They've locked them up across their half-back and full-back line, and they just haven't been able to get any flow whatsoever. Ken Judge, Kelvin Moore, able assistants are Chris Connolly and Peter German. Scotty McGuinness, one of the former Premiership teams at Hawthorn, also on the coaching staff. The Hawks won the first pre-season final in this competition in 1988. The ball now with Cockatoo Collins. What can he do? Gee, it's a good kick, isn't it? Is that a good kick or what? Goal to Cockatoo Collins. He's kicked there only 3 goals.
Well, Robbo, that was a fantastic kick then. I think he sized that up pretty well. I don't think he was trying to kick to the top of the square as a discipline thing, but you can see him right here. He sized it up. No one in the goal square, just popped around. That's a fantastic kick.
They're getting something out of him, aren't they? Which is good. 3 second-half goals. Good effort by Cockatoo Collins. 3 goals after half-time. Night Premiership player with Essendon 5 seasons ago, as this man was, Paul Salmon. He was a teammate of Wanganeen and Cockatoo Collins on that night. Taylor's handball, back into the centre. Colliker, Crawford's getting his hands on a lot now. Lyle cuts it off, one hand, couldn't take the mark. Handball on the up was okay to Francis. Francis kicks it wide in the Dickey direction. Lekas is with him, happy to see the ball go over the line. Boundary throw-in. It's been good, Lekas.
I don't know how long Colliker's been on the ground, Bruce. Not many minutes of ground time. He's had 7 possessions and kicked 1 goal, 1.
Looks really good, doesn't he? Salmon and French. Crawford. Well played. Harford to 11. Going. Close. Just misses. It's a behind. It's had a great night series. Craig Treleaven. Been very, very good. Wayne Jackson and Ian Collins. Liz Jackson next to Wayne, Chief Executive of the AFL Commission, and Collo with him.
Another interesting thing for Hawthorn would be the number of players and the success that they've had out of East Fremantle. It's been enormous, hasn't it? I mean, I think it's Judgy's old team, isn't it, East Fremantle? And each time they go over there for a game of footy, he gets down there and susses it all out. There must be someone doing some terrific spotting for him. And they've had a tremendous return from the East Fremantle Footy Club, the Hawthorn team. Crowe, is he going to be paid the mark? No, he looked for it. The whistle has gone. So it will go to Trent Crowe. Into the middle, Crawford. Back to Crowe. Good running by the young man. Crowe, that is. The kick to full forward, Cox, Treleaven. The understanding there was terrific, wasn't it, between Treleaven and Hassel? Now, the kick has missed, but it looks like a free kick back a little bit from where it came from. Was it Hassel interfered with? Franco just having a chat with the umpire.
I think it's Treleaven, Robbo.
Treleaven, is it?
Yeah.
Well, you can see there an indiscreet attempt there on Treleaven results in this free kick. Set shot at goal, across the face, through for 1 behind.
Bruce, just having a look at Hawthorn, they'll obviously go on and win, but history would say that a winning premiership side in the night final is almost guaranteed success in the day competition by way of making the 8.
Holland belts it down to Lord. Lord outside 50, chips it in cleverly. Treleaven, he's got a lot of the footy. Concedes ground. They may be in trouble here though. Salmon's good enough. Salmon handballs. Crawford quickly on. Could feel the danger coming. Dickey, oh, that's not good enough. Treleaven on the left foot to full forward. Holland and Cox comes off Cox. Well done, Francis. Bursts away, in trouble, just gets clear and then puts the ball on the ground, gets it to Kingsley. Kingsley back to Francis. Francis on his left foot, wobbly kick, no free kick as a Port player went to ground. Schofield, who started on the interchange, has been very quiet, to Barnaby French. Awkward looking kicking style and a bad kick to Crowe. Crowe's handball gets over the top of Cockatoo Collins. McCabe under the pump here, and Treadray's going to kick a goal.
You'd really want a picture of the coach's box now, because I think the Hawks early in the game was just no-nonsense footy. They just tried a couple of 2 fancy things there.
Yeah, I guess if most players take a bit of licence when you're this far in front, I guess it comes down to showtime, but it was Crowe there going for the handball. But really, I think the opposite applied. Robbo, that the pressure from Port Adelaide there was what their coach would have been looking for at the start.
12-10 to 4-5. 12 minutes left in the game. It is going to be a truly magnificent Hawthorn victory here in this 1999 pre-season competition. Nick Holland maybe infringing against Darren Mead was the way the umpire saw that. The football with Wilson, left half back for Port Adelaide. Big punch by Crow. May have not got too much of an impact on it. Franco held up. Dickey, Crowd still. Looks as though he's played 150 games, doesn't he? Trent Crowd across that half back line. Wilson, some fancy stuff there from Michael Wilson, gets away with it, but the kick, not what he would have desired out on the full.
Crowdies, Gav! Crowdies! Go back 2 metres! That's it!
Kelvin Moore, what a great fullback he was. 300 game player for the Hawks. This victory is going to bring back a lot of memories for those great Hawk players over the years. A couple of them in our broadcast tonight. 16 premierships between them. Platten and Dipper Domenico.
Sure does, Bruce.
And Dipper hasn't stopped reminding me about all of them.
Boundary throw in at centre wing. Salmon and Chalmers. Chalmers has had a quiet one. Colton tried to force it on Treleaven. Good. Colliker about. Gee, we like him. A second one. Measures it. Kicks it hard and high and misses. It's a behind. He has an awkward kicking style. Boy, is he an athlete.
Bruce, it's interesting that they had that great era with a sensational full forward in Dunstall, and then you can see another era coming through where they don't rely on one forward. They're going to have so many goal kickers streaming down the ground. They've just got so many options. They're terrific to watch.
Got 9 tonight, Pete. 9 players have contributed with their 12 goals.
And yet they've just had a guy that kicked nearly 1,300 goals, so incredible difference.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that is made. Of course, Jason Dunstall, during those glory years, kicked forward by Kingsley for Port Adelaide, and Polton is marked. He's still very close to his defensive 50-metre line. You can see it there in the picture. Oh, terrific leap and mark is taken down there by French, was it? Gee, it was a good effort by the young man. Kick towards half forward, Vandenberg ducking, trying to get clear. Handballs it wide, Thompson, a couple of the young guns for the Hawks, Taylor. Well done there by Feagit. Eagled and bumped off the footy, close to the line, it'll be taken over, will it? Feagit still trying to keep it in, so was Richard Taylor, and the Hawks succeed in doing just that. Thompson throws it onto his right boot, into the middle of the ground. Now an opportunity with Vandenberg. He's confronted by Wilson. Kingsley goes to the ground, confronted by, is it Treleaven? Yes. And we have another look at Barnaby French up high, taking the mark.
It's a new player from Sturt who played in the SANFL last year.
Taylor. Franco's got it at centre wing. He's got Paxman wide and on his own. Finds him. Paxman to fall forward. No, Harwood couldn't quite. They've conceded some ground. Back towards Stevens. Back to Paxman. Well, beautifully taken, Stevens. Then comes around onto the left. Gives it all he's got, but there are Hawthorn players everywhere. And Crow squeezes it to Treleaven. Big last quarter by Treleaven. To half-back, out of play. The Michael Tuck medalist will be decided tonight. There's Hawthorn, their last defeat. Port Adelaide, round 17 at Footy Park. They won 5 straight going into the end of the year, and they've won their 4 Ansett Cup matches. There's Richard Taylor. Michael Tuck medalist tonight. Jared Healy is one of the people who has to nominate the best on the ground this evening. Kicked by Franco to fall forward, and he's got it, Harwood. Take on the mark about 40 metres from goal.
Probably been Port Adelaide's best player, Josh Franco. He's had 23 possessions. Early tried very hard across the half-back line, and he's continued on around the middle of the ground.
So Harwood hasn't kicked a goal for Port Adelaide in any form of competition. He's 40 metres out. Gets close to the man on the mark. It hasn't been the Powers night. Crowed, still crowed, and comes away. He bursts away. They compared him with Langford in the paper this morning. He moves a bit like him.
There was a terrific article that with about 5 or 6 of the young Hawks being compared to 5 or 6 of the all-time champs that have been around the club over the last 25 years. It'll be interesting to see how they develop. Darren Mead under pressure. His wobbly punt kick has been marked out there by Kingsley. Looking to play on, goes short, not bad. Dickey, the running support provided by Francis. Left foot kick by that player. Obbs did very well, tried to make it on the half volley. He won't be criticised for not gathering because the coach will be wrapped in that endeavour. Cox, a high kick, lands the ball at half forward, 3-on-1. So the Crummers must be in favour of Hawthorn. Graham over the top there of Polton. Still Graham. Polton with persistence, gets his right foot to it, kicks it out towards the wing. Oh, wonderful gather by Colliger. Just tremendous stuff by the Hawks. And that mark taken at half-back for Port Adelaide by Chalmers. 83 plays 29. So the margin 54 points in favour of Hawthorn with 7.5 minutes left in the game.
Kingsley down low, did well there. He's had a lot of the footy too, but like Franco, not a whole lot's happened. The ball towards the pocket. Hayes there, pretty happy to step over the line. Boundary throw in. 7 minutes remaining in the Ansett Australia Cup. Hawthorn have been very successful in the Premiership season after winning the Night Premiership. Eagleton under pressure has kicked it behind. They've won 8 Night Premierships. It's been played as a pre-season comp since 1988. And on those 8 occasions, on 3 occasions, they've gone on to win the double. Their worst finishing position ever after winning the Night Series has been 6th. So I reckon the Hawk fans all like all of that. They are in for the long haul, you'd reckon, in 1999. They're going to be a very good team. Crawford, who was compared with John Platten, I reckon the Rat wouldn't mind that.
Well, Shane Crawford has been a good leader. Go, Johnny.
Oh, yes, I wouldn't mind that, Bruce. Yeah. If he continues the way he's going, he'll be a great leader.
And another very good game by the Hawthorn captain, Shane Crawford. The football is with Dickey. Good mark taken by Colliker. Decides to back himself. Goes forward, kicks into the pocket. Lord leads Lyle away from the footy, but Lyle got back and applied a good tackle. Francis gets the spillage, and not a bad kick in the finish. The skills of the modern-day AFL footballer, not much to kick to, and he was able to gain about 35 metres for his team and force a boundary throw-in. Angelo Lekas having a spell on the bench. They'll be a happy bunch, won't they? We're a happy team at Hawthorn. That'll be sung all through the night, I would think. The theme song. You've heard that a few times, Johnny.
I've heard it a few times, Robert. And well, I would back now that Hawthorn will get over 30,000 members this year.
Yes, I suppose it's important, isn't it, that their success is shown like this early. Now, the umpires deemed that as a throw. Francis takes it, kicks it out wide, gathered here by Franco, looking to assess, and then finishes rather ordinarily. Fegan, pressure applied by Jonathan Hay, hacked out of there, the mark taken by French.
French wants Harwood in the pocket, kicks towards him, tacked it hard, the kid, he's going to get a free kick, Harwood. Ran hard at it and got it. So he kicked into the man on the mark a moment ago. He looks young, doesn't he? But he's got a future. He's 20 years of age.
It's just
about
on
50 metres out.
Just on 50, Bruce. I don't think he'll make the distance.
Gets it high, gets it right to the goal square. Oh, Mead flew early and hung, couldn't quite. Big kick around the body, taken, and Mead's going to kick a goal, I think. Darren Mead's goal.
Well, finally something going right there for Port Adelaide. And Darren Mead, well, he miskicked it, but he just snuck it underneath the Hawthorn defender. And he got what he was requiring, and that was a goal. Big fly, wasn't it? And good recovery also. There's the fish, couldn't quite get it away. Snuck it around the corner.
think there lies the tale of the success of the Hawthorn Footy Club in this match. Paul Salmon having a much-earned rest towards the end of this game. Going to the interchange bench. Fegan for Port Adelaide. Gets the ball towards centre-half forward. Gathered by Obst. Under a bit of pressure. He did reasonably well, actually. He's kicked it across the line in front of Harwood, and Tony Woods just prepared to allow the boundary umpire to throw it in. Ben Dixon in picture there with Paul Salmon, and it's already been mentioned, I think, at least once tonight that they've had a fantastic record in the night series, the Hawks. They've won 8. Well, they'll add another one tonight. Only 4 minutes left. 83 to 36. Go, Pete. Yep.
Robbo, do you think Salmon could have been one of the greatest ruckmen of all time if he had played his whole career there?
Well, no doubt, but gee, he just looks so comfortable in this role with the Hawks, doesn't he?
Good brain. Great football brain, Paul Salmon.
Josh Franco being paid a free kick between wing and right half forward for Port Adelaide.
Taking a long, long time. Short to Schofield, who's hardly had it. We're used to this with Port under Mark Williams, but normally they've been well in front. Long, hard kick. Hawthorn players everywhere. Crow tumbling. He's going to pay it. It might have been come off another Hawthorn player at one stage. Treleven's kick wide to Barlow. Got him. It's been all right, Barlow. They've all been all right. Most of them have been much better than all right. Holland in the back pocket, up to half-back, hugs the boundary line. Harford, Crawford kept it in, pushed it along the line. Paxman and Robin, boundary throw-in. 83 to 36.
And Bruce, I'm just handing over the hard-earned cash to Robert DiPietro with a big smile on his face.
Well, not hard to work out who was going to back who out of you two. Robin, Chalmers, Colliker. It's a slippery customer. Robin, Hassel, Robin, Crawford. Keeps his eye on it, Crawford, even when he's under the heat. And good effort by Port there. Very good effort. No advantage, and it's coming back.
Top tackle there by Michael Wilson, but Johnny Hassel is an unsung hero at this club. He was picked up, I think most people thought he was on his last legs when he, and let's just hope that the tax department can see that one, Dipper.
They're betting up the boys tonight. That's 20. Colliker, Hassel. Well, Robbo was in Perth tonight, but I'll say it in a moment. Vandenberg to Lord. Lord at centre wing. Treleven. Jew's onto him. He's had a pretty ordinary night, Jew. Lyle. Barlow onto him. You were there, Robbo, the night that Johnny Hassel struggled against Fremantle. It looked like he played his last game for Hawthorn, and he's been able to come back well.
Yeah, I think he's a disciplined player. I keep harping on the discipline, but he's given a job by Ken Judge, and he's just prepared to do the best he can to fulfil the requirements of the coach. You can't ask much more than that. Port Adelaide get the ball up towards their half-forward area. French, very skillfully done for a big fellow. Fegan, hand pass maybe a little too emphatic for Dew. He's under pressure, but he got his left foot to it. Out wide is Eagleton, close to the boundary line. Snapshot by Nathan Eagleton goes across the face. It may even stay in the field of play. Back there is Obst. He in turn, just a little fiddly kick down the line. Gathered by Crawford. Nick Stevens there to apply the pressure, and the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Brad, I might be just a bit jealous because I'm losing mine, but I reckon it was a dangerous sign when you see a player like Donald Dickey turning up before a big game with such a radical haircut.
Yes, very correct there, Jared.
Just as if his brain has lost what it's supposed to be focusing on.
That's it. Puts a lot of pressure on the young fella, and also puts a little bit of pressure back on the side as well.
Barlow clears the ball rather intelligently. He kicked the ball about 35 to 40 metres. It bounced another 5 or 6. And that is the player that Jared and Johnny Platten were referring to, Donald Dickey.
Michael Wilson has just hobbled off onto the Port Adelaide bench with a minute to go. It's just probably disappointing. It looked like something wrong with an ankle.
Yes, he has struggled. He's a better player than his statistics will show tonight. Daniel Harford, good kick. Holland pushed out of it there by Mead will take the free kick. Bit of frustration there for Darren Mead. There's Michael Wilson on the bench, and this is a blatant free kick. In towards centre half forward. Stevens couldn't gather. The ball still to be won within scoring distance for Hawthorn. 35 seconds left, kicked away by Chalmers.
Lands in Kingsley's arms at centre wing. So the Hawks, another premiership for them. Wide. Burgoyne. Burgoyne to half forward. Front spot was French. Fegert round the body. Can Port just get one more before it's all over? Harwood in the pocket, forcing him towards the line was Obbs. Vandenberg back there. Jude couldn't quite get him. Well played by Lloyd as he goes to the line. That was terrific. That's it. They've won it. The Hawks have won it. A match that they really set up right from the word go. Probably won it in the 3 minutes before half-time, and then went right on with it at the start of the second half. Nobody was as big as the Fish tonight. Here's the Dipper.
Thanks very much, Bruce. Well, who would have thought 3 years ago Fish would be playing for the Hawks in a grand final? Well done.
Certainly not me. It's been a tremendous... Well, it's not a rebirth yet, but I mean, it's just a tremendous reward for the players. You know, they've persisted through a lot of flack and the challenges over the last year or so. And, you know, it looks like we're heading definitely in the right direction, Dip.
Now, during the week, looks like you weren't going to play, but you made up your mind to play, and obviously you pulled through okay.
Yeah, I have. I'm very happy with it. It's going to be fatigued towards the end, but that's to be expected. And you know, I'm just really pleased for the club. You know, we're just getting back on an even keel, and that looks promising, doesn't it?
This is a new era for the Hawthorn football club with a young side like this.
Well, we hope so. They've certainly got enough ability, enough talent there, and a lot of work still to do.
Well, Fish, I know the boys are waiting for you. Well done, and thanks for joining us on Channel 7.
Ta, mate.
Terrific. He's been in 5 premierships now, a couple of days and 3 nights, and he's always played. He kicked a stack of goals in Essendon State Premiership wins, didn't he? Terrific player. Must be favourite for the Michael Tuck medal.
I would say most certainly. Kenny Judge. I think a lot of credit should go to Ken Judge. I mean, he came over from Western Australia and took up an assistant's job at Carlton, and Hawthorn didn't hesitate when he was available to take on the senior job at Hawthorn.
Very true, Rob. I think he's done a fantastic job, and as Dibber says, a new era here at Hawthorn, so fantastic effort.
First of many renditions, I think, tonight, John.
It is, Bruce. It's fantastic, and just to go around and look at all the players there. Some of these players 2 or 3 years ago were on the chopping block, and it is just a fantastic. The boys have done very, very well. They stuck at their guns the last 2 or 3 years, and ended up with this, and most rewarding.
Port kicked 5 of the last 7 goals. They did get just something. It was all over, admittedly, but at least they could take a little bit home. But it was pretty devastating. It was Hawthorn all the way tonight in the Ansett Australia Cup final. They've won their 9th Night Premiership, and they have staked a claim as the big improvers in 1999. They were terrific all night. It was Hawthorn over Port Power, back with the celebrations.